In life, there's some things that I can easily ignore. My wife, bill collectors, but these three wide receivers at ADP is something I cannot ignore. Let's go. I want to talk about three different wide receivers that you shouldn't ignore at ADP. Let's talk about it. Number one is Keenan Allen. Last year, obviously, he got hurt again, which is something he normally does. So I understand why his ADP has fallen through the years. But let's look at the stats. In 10 games, he had almost 90 targets, 66 catches, over 750 yards, and 4 touchdowns through the year. Another injury-riddled season for Keenan Allen, who's going to be on the wrong side of 30 come the season start. Once again, all these things are adding to the ADP. All these things are baking into it, which is why you're getting him in the 4th round. But there's things to look up on the positive side. There's a new offensive coordinator with Kellen Moore, who did wonderful things in the Dallas offense. They're going to be a pass-heavy scheme, which obviously benefits guys like Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. Justin Herbert should have a bounce-back year. Keenan Allen averaged 6+ targets a game in those 10 games. He has a safe floor when it comes to PPR, but how many games will he miss? That's the real question. He's being drafted in the 4th round as wide receiver 18. Now, once again, Keenan Allen is safe to say his upside is very limited, and his best years are behind him. But if you want to go wide receiver heavy, if you want to go top heavy guys, maybe grab a Jonathan Taylor, come back around, grab a Kenneth Walker, come back around and grab a Miles Sanders type, and then go with Keenan Allen, who's someone who's going to have safety. You don't really want a boom bust wide receiver. You want somebody with a little safety. Go ahead and grab Keenan Allen in round 4. The second wide receiver I want to talk about is Mike Evans. Now, I know going from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield is probably not something that excites you, but you have to look at the statistics and look at the stats for what it is. Last year, he had a quiet year, but once again, he had almost 130 targets, almost 80 catches, over 1,000 yards once again, and 6 touchdowns, and that was in 15 games. And that was really with noodle arm Tom Brady. It was obviously the end of his career, so he wasn't pushing the ball downfield. Leonard Fournette is gone. That's 83 targets out the door. Tom Brady is gone for now. Julio, that's 43 targets. He's gone. So, you can say that he's pretty safe when the 120 to 140 target range, and his touchdown upside is what's going to be his saving grace. Can Baker Mayfield make a fantasy wide receiver relevant? Yes. The trick is which one? My choice is to go with Mike Evans because of the touchdown upside. He's also being drafted behind Chris Godwin right now. So give me the better pick at value. He finishes the wide receiver 17 last year, and that was really in a down year. Right now, he's being drafted as the wide receiver 30. The disrespect is at an all-time high for Mike Evans. Once again, I understand what he has going against him. But at the same time, if he falls to you in round 6, make sure you grab him at value. And last but not least, I really can't believe this player is on this list. Being a Raiders fan, you can say that I'm biased, but I think a lot of people will agree. The best receiver in the NFL. How is he a value pick in fantasy football? Well, let's talk about it. Right now, he's going in the 2nd round in most fantasy football drafts. And I understand Jimmy G compared to Derek Carr. Derek Carr was his best friend. Derek Carr is someone who's going to push the ball down the field. Jimmy G is injury prone, which a lot of people say he had a lot of weapons working in San Francisco. They say he's a winner, but he's not the guy that's going to give you the ball. He's not somebody that's going to, it's not somebody you win because of, it's somebody you win in spite of. And that's just been his rap since he's been in the league. But I don't think he's ever had a wide receiver this good at football. Deebo Samuel obviously was pretty good, but he was hurt a lot of his career. And we've seen it, Jimmy G likes to lock on to one target. We've seen what he did with Deebo Samuel, where he was getting, 10 to 12 targets a game, regardless of coverage. He's going to pepper Davante Adams with targets. And a receiver that good who gets peppered with targets, there's no way he won't succeed. Let's look at the stats from last year. He had 180 targets, which was top 5 in the league. He had 100 receptions and over 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns, which led the league in touchdowns. And that was in 17 games. He played all 17. Despite pushing Kansas City cameramen, he still played all 17 games. Once again, some of the reasons why he's being pushed to the 2nd round, there's a new QB, and a lot of people aren't really confident with the Raiders regime on what's going to happen forward. But once again, let's look at the positives. Mac Hollins, gone. That's 90+ targets. Foster Moreau, gone. That's 50+ targets. Darren Waller, gone. That's 40+ targets. Yes, they brought in Jacoby Myers, but I'm not really worried about him. He's a great number 2, and so is Renfrow great in the slot, but Davante Adams will demand targets. He had 9+ targets in 13 of those 17 games, and I can't see that going anywhere. He finished as a wide receiver 3 last year, and right now he's being drafted as a wide receiver 7 in the 2nd round. That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. If Davante Adams falls to you in the 2nd round, you scoop him up. I plan on having Davante Adams in every single one of my fantasy drafts if he falls to the 2nd round. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Remember, subscribe to see more content from me and everyone here at Just in Time Media.